Hey friends, and welcome to English Podcast for Listening and Speaking. I'm so glad you're here with me today. In this peaceful little corner of the audio world, we explore the beauty of the English language together. It's a space where we learn not through textbooks, but through gentle stories, reflective thoughts, and real-life experiences. My hope is that each episode feels like a quiet conversation, helping you connect more deeply with English, one calm word at a time. We'll focus on listening, truly absorbing the rhythm and flow, and gently practicing speaking, building your confidence in a relaxed, personal way. If this episode brings you a little peace, or helps you feel a tiny bit more confident in your English journey today, I would be so grateful if you liked, subscribed, or perhaps left a kind comment. And please, feel free to share any topics you'd love for us to explore in future episodes. Your thoughts truly matter, but most importantly, just keep listening until the very end, and let's embark on this journey together. Now, get comfortable, maybe pour some tea, and let's begin. Take a deep breath with me, and let the outside world fade away for a moment. Just you, me, and the gentle whispers of English. You know, for many of us, the journey of learning English often feels like climbing a very tall mountain. We spend so much time looking at lists of words, memorizing grammar rules, and perhaps even feeling a little overwhelmed by it all. I remember feeling that way too, countless times. It felt like there was this vast ocean of knowledge, and I was just trying to scoop it up with a tiny cup. But what if I told you that fluency isn't always found on the well-trodden path? What if it's less about how many words you know, and more about how you use the words you already have? It's a quiet shift, a subtle change in perspective, but it can make all the difference. Sometimes, the most powerful breakthroughs come from the most unexpected places. It's like searching for a hidden garden. You might look for it in grand, obvious places, only to find it blooming beautifully in a quiet, forgotten corner. Today, I want to gently pull back the curtain on something truly fascinating. We're going to explore what I call 5 surprising ways to become a fluent English speaker. These aren't your typical classroom methods, and they might even challenge some of the ways you've thought about learning a language before. They're less about textbooks and more about truly living with English, making it a natural, comfortable part of your everyday existence. Think of it not as studying, but as discovering new, softer paths that lead to a deeper, more organic connection with the language. It's about building a quiet, internal relationship with English, so that when you speak, it simply flows, like a gentle stream. We'll explore how simple shifts in your daily habits, and even some playful experiments, can unlock a surprising level of ease and confidence. So, let's begin to unpack these surprising ways, one gentle step at a time. It's a journey of discovery, and I hope it leaves you feeling inspired, and perhaps, a little more at peace with your English learning adventure. Now, as we prepare to dive a little deeper into these surprising ways to grow our English, let's gently explore a few words and phrases that might help us understand the journey better. Think of these as little keys that can unlock some of the ideas we'll be discussing. There's no pressure to memorize. Just let them softly settle into your mind. The first idea I want to touch upon is something called internal dialogue. This phrase refers to the quiet conversation you have with yourself inside your head. It's your inner voice, your thoughts. When we talk about having an internal dialogue in English, it means you're thinking, reflecting, and even problem-solving in English, without needing to translate from your native language first. For example, imagine you're walking in a park, and instead of thinking, "Oh, what a beautiful tree," in your first language, your mind naturally forms the English thought, "This tree is so old and strong." That's your internal dialogue happening in English. It's a wonderful sign of natural fluency. Let's say that phrase together, slowly, Internal dialogue. Can you say it with me? Internal dialogue. Closely related to that is something we call asterisk self-talk. While internal dialogue is often silent, self-talk is when you actually speak aloud to yourself, even if it's just a whisper. This might sound a little unusual at first, but it's incredibly powerful. It's like practicing without an audience, allowing you to try out sentences and ideas without any pressure. For instance, you might be washing dishes and softly say to yourself, "I am washing the dishes now. Soon, I will relax." Or perhaps, "What should I cook for dinner tonight?" This is your self-talk. It builds confidence because you're actively producing language in a relaxed way. Let's try this one, self-talk. And again, self-talk. Next, let's consider the word asterisk chunks. In language learning, chunks are groups of words that often go together naturally, like a phrase or an idiom, or common collocations. Instead of learning individual words, you learn these groups as a single unit. Think of them as pre-made building blocks for your sentences. For example, instead of thinking about each word in "How are you doing?" you learn it as one chunk. That means a common greeting. Or, "Take a break, by the way," or, "At the moment." Learning these chunks makes your speech sound much more natural and fluent because you're using common native-like patterns. Let's gently say this word, chunks. One more time. Chunks. Then we have asterisk mimicking. This simply means to imitate or copy something. In the context of English, it means listening to native speakers and trying to copy their pronunciation, their rhythm, their tone, and even their intonation. It's like being an actor, trying to sound just like the person you're listening to. For instance, if you hear someone say, "It's a beautiful day, isn't it?" with a certain rise and fall in their voice, you try to copy that exact sound and rhythm. It's a playful way to improve your pronunciation and make your speech sound more authentic. Let's try that word. Mimicking. Slowly. Mimicking. Another important concept is asterisk activating language. This refers to the process of taking words and phrases you already know passively, words you understand when you hear or read them, and making them active, meaning you can easily use them when you speak or write. It's about moving words from your recognition vocabulary to your production vocabulary. For example, you might know the word ecstatic when you see it, but can you use it naturally in a conversation? Activating language means practicing using words you already know so they become readily available for speaking. It's like exercising a muscle so it gets stronger and faster. Let's practice this phrase. Activating language. Again, softly. Activating language. Finally, let's talk about asterisk impromptu. This word describes something that is done without being planned, prepared, or rehearsed. In conversation, an impromptu discussion is one that happens spontaneously, in the moment, without you having time to think about what you'll say beforehand. When you practice speaking English in impromptu situations, like having a casual chat with someone you just met, it trains your brain to think and respond quickly in English. It pushes you to be flexible and responsive, which is a key part of real-life fluency. Let's try this word, impromptu. Can you say it aloud with me? Impromptu. I hope these words offer a gentle framework for understanding the exciting ideas we're about to explore. Remember, it's not about perfection, but about embracing these concepts softly and letting them guide you on your personal path to fluency. As we continue this gentle journey into fluency, it feels natural to pause for a moment and consider how we weave our experiences and advice into language. Sometimes, it's not just what we say, but how we shape our words, that adds depth and meaning. Today, I want us to softly explore two very helpful friends in grammar: the present perfect tense, and those wonderful little words we call modal verbs, like should, could, and might. The present perfect tense is a beautiful way to talk about things that began in the past but still feel connected to now, to this very moment. It's perfect for sharing experiences that are ongoing, or actions that happened but have a result that we can still feel or see today. Think of it as a bridge connecting your past self to your present self. For example, I've often wondered how much my own thoughts about language learning have shifted over the years. That's a gentle use of the present perfect. I have wondered. It started in the past, and it's a thought process that continues, or a realization that's still with me now. Perhaps you've discovered new ways of thinking about English since you started listening to these episodes. You have discovered. This means the discovery happened in the past, but the new knowledge or feeling is still very much present with you. Or maybe, I have been practicing my self-talk for a week now. This tells us the practice started then, and it's still ongoing, still happening. It's not about a specific finished time in the past, like yesterday, or last week. Instead, it's about the journey itself, the experience, or the current result. So, when you say, I have learned a lot, it emphasizes that the learning process is either still happening, or the knowledge you gained is still valuable and part of who you are now. It's like saying, this learning has brought me to this point. And now, let's consider those gentle guides, the modal verbs. These are words like, should, could, and might. They don't just state a fact, they add a layer of possibility, advice, or suggestion to our sentences. They invite us to ponder, rather than command. When we use should, it often feels like offering a kind piece of advice, a gentle recommendation. For instance, if you're thinking about improving your pronunciation, you might softly tell yourself, I should try mimicking native speakers more often. It's not a strict rule, but a helpful suggestion for yourself or others. You should listen to English songs to learn chunks, is an encouraging thought. It's about what is a good idea, what is advisable. Then there's could. This word opens up a world of possibilities and gentle suggestions. It's less firm than should, and hints at options. For example, you could try practicing your English by speaking to strangers online. This doesn't mean you must do it, but it offers it as a viable and helpful option. Or, if you're looking for new resources, you could explore different podcasts or videos. It's a soft invitation to consider an idea. And finally, might. This is the softest of them all, suggesting a possibility that is perhaps a little less certain, or simply one of many potential outcomes. It's about what is possible, but not definite. It might feel a little strange at first to speak to yourself, for instance. This acknowledges a potential feeling without asserting it as an absolute truth. Or, learning full chunks of language through music might make your English sound more natural. It hints at a potential benefit, a soft whisper of a possibility. These words, should, could, and might, are wonderful for expressing nuances in our thoughts and advice. They allow us to be gentle and open, whether we are reflecting on our own journey or sharing ideas with others. They create a conversational flow that feels less like a lesson and more like a shared exploration. As we continue, try to notice how these grammatical tools appear in the world around you, in books, in conversations. They are everywhere, gently shaping the meaning and tone of our messages. And perhaps, as you practice your English, you might even find yourself naturally weaving them into your own beautiful story. Now, with our minds gently attuned to how grammar shapes our expressions, let's gracefully step into the heart of our discussion today. Those 5 surprising ways to truly bloom into a fluent English speaker. These aren't just tips. They are invitations to rethink how you approach language, to find joy in the process, and to discover the quiet power within your own voice. We'll weave in the vocabulary and grammar we've touched upon, making them feel like natural threads in our shared story. Our first surprising path to fluency is this. Read more, but read for fluency, not for vocabulary. Asterisk. This might sound a little counterintuitive, especially if you have been taught that every new word must be looked up. But here, the focus shifts. When you read, try to read fluently asterisk, without stopping for every single unfamiliar word. The goal is to keep the flow, to allow your eyes to glide over the sentences, even if you don't grasp every single nuance. I have found this practice incredibly liberating. It helps you develop what we called an asterisk internal dialogue in English. You see the words, you hear them in your mind's ear, and you start to think directly in English, bypassing that often tiring step of translating from your native language. When you reduce the need to translate, your mind becomes more agile, and your spoken English begins to flow more smoothly. You might be surprised at how much your comprehension improves, even without a dictionary in hand. So, next time you pick up a book or an article in English, could you try reading for the rhythm, for the overall meaning, and for that wonderful feeling of uninterrupted flow? What do you think you might gain by letting go of the need to understand every single word? The second path, a truly comforting one, is to asterisk speak more to yourself. Asterisk. This might seem a little unusual, maybe even a bit shy. But think of it this way, when you talk to yourself, there's no pressure, no one judging your mistakes, just you and your thoughts, gently exploring the English language. This removes the performance pressure completely, allowing you to build the habit of speaking without fear. I have been practicing this for years, and it's a quiet superpower. You can describe your day to yourself. I have just made a cup of tea, and now I am sitting by the window. Or plan your future. Tomorrow, I will go for a walk in the park. You could even narrate your actions as you do them. I am washing the dishes. I am using warm water. It encourages consistent daily practice and allows for relaxed language production. You should definitely try this. It feels incredibly natural once you start. What are some simple, everyday actions you could describe to yourself right now, using phrases like, I am doing, or, I will do? Our third surprising way is a challenge to old habits. Stop collecting new vocabulary. Asterisk. Yes, you heard that right. This doesn't mean never learning new words, but it means shifting your focus from acquiring new words to asterisk activating and truly using the words you already know. Many learners have thousands of words stored passively in their minds, words they recognize but can't effortlessly use in conversation. The magic happens when you bring those words to life. Practice with repetition, gently substituting words in familiar sentences, or mimicking phrases you hear in movies or podcasts. Tools like ChatGPT can be incredibly helpful here. You could ask it to create sentences using words you want to activate. Or try shadowing video or audio content, repeating what you hear almost at the same time. I have found this has truly deepened my understanding and made my existing vocabulary feel so much more useful. It might feel strange at first, to focus on what you already have, but trust me, it's like discovering hidden treasure in your own mind. Can you think of a word you know, but rarely use in speaking? How could you practice activating it today, perhaps by using it in a few different sentences? The fourth path, and one that often causes a little flutter of nervousness, is to asterisk practice with strangers. Asterisk. This doesn't mean you need to find a native speaker on the street tomorrow. But real conversations, especially impromptu conversations asterisk, those unexpected, unscripted moments, help you develop flexibility and asterisk responsiveness in speaking. You learn to think on your feet, to adapt, and to truly interact. You could use language exchange apps, join online speaking rooms, or even find language partners. The beautiful thing is, you don't even need to practice with native speakers. Practicing with other English learners can be incredibly beneficial because you're both in the same boat, navigating the language together. You might feel a little anxious about making mistakes, but remember, every conversation is a gentle step forward. I have seen so many people blossom when they start having these real-life interactions. What kind of questions do you think you could ask someone new if you met them in an online language exchange? And our fifth surprising way. Use music to learn full chunks. Songs are not just for entertainment, they are incredible language learning tools. When you listen to songs, you absorb chunks, those common word combinations and phrases that native speakers use naturally. You also pick up on the rhythm, the intonation, the rise and fall of your voice, and the stress on certain words, all of which are vital for sounding natural and clear. I have found that simply singing along can do wonders for my pronunciation and flow. And now, with tools like Suno AI, you could even create your own songs using specific vocabulary you want to practice. Imagine learning a new phrase by hearing it sung back to you. It's fun, it's personal, and it truly helps those common phrases sink deep into your memory. You could try listening to your favorite English songs not just for the melody, but for the way words are linked together, for the natural flow. Have you ever noticed how some words and songs seem to blend together, forming a natural chunk of sound? Before we gently conclude, I have a bonus tip for you, something that's both fun and surprisingly effective. The Fake Accent Challenge, *. Try mimicking different English accents. American, British, Australian, whatever piques your curiosity. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal isn't to master the accent, but to play with it. This playful exercise builds your awareness of sound placement where sounds are made in your mouth, and enhances your understanding of natural rhythm and intonation. It's like a pronunciation workout that doesn't feel like work at all. You should give it a try. You might find yourself giggling, but you'll also be training your mouth and ears in subtle but powerful ways. I have found this practice has truly opened up my ears to the nuances of spoken English. Which English accent sounds most interesting or intriguing to you to try mimicking? As we gently bring our time together to a close today, I invite you to take a slow, deep breath with me. Feel that sense of quiet calm settle over you, perhaps just like that warm cup of tea we imagined earlier. We've journeyed through some truly surprising paths to English fluency, haven't we? It's not always about memorizing lists or perfect grammar, but often about finding that gentle, uninterrupted flow in your mind and voice. Remember how we spoke about reading for that kind of flow, or how practicing with self-talk allows your internal dialogue to blossom without any pressure. These aren't just techniques, they're invitations to treat your language journey with more kindness, more playfulness, and a little less pressure. The goal is to build that quiet confidence, to feel more at ease, and to discover the wonderful, unique voice you have within you, speaking in English. Every little step, every new practice, contributes to that beautiful growth. If this episode helped you feel even a tiny bit more confident in English today, I'd be so grateful if you shared it with someone else who is also learning. Don't forget to leave a comment and let me know what you would like us to discuss in future episodes. Your thoughts truly mean so much. Until next time, please take gentle care of yourself, and keep learning, keep exploring, and thank you very, very much for listening.